having, this incredible force of nature that is these families, and the Grote family in particular, that continues to invest in lifting up families and neighborhoods, has really made a big difference in the quality of life of our city.
Jim and the Grote family, they give back to the community. And in the last couple of years, we've created a special edition Donato's paper because of his generous donations that he gives to the Charity Newsies to help with our mission that no kid will go to school without adequate clothing.
First met Jim Grote in 1964 when I walked into the Donato store. He was standing there with his hands on his side like this. And as I looked at him, I saw that he had a vision in his eyes already.
Jim's been involved in every aspect of junior achievement and supporting the work of our young people. One of the things that's so impressive about Jim is the combining the vision for what success should be with the ethics of how do you do it the right way.
His whole life was based on that triangle, serving the spirit, mind, and body while serving everyone.
They're loving people. They are people that if you walked into a room and they're on the other side of the room, you walk over to them because you want to be part of the feeling of the love that they have. And you know that they will share that with you.
The Grote family exemplifies not only business success, but family business success, welcoming everyone into their home, into their living room, and today their original store on the south side still exists.
That sense of welcoming individuals is real and earnest.
Annie raised a great family, and she helped raise a business, and she has always led with love.
I remember Annie talking about how people were always coming through the house, sitting down. She'd never know who quite was there.
It sounded like chaos to me, but it also sounded like it was really a coming together of the family. It was really something that they cared deeply about, that they demonstrated teamwork.
Annie and I met at a spiritual retreat, and in the next couple of years, we had an epidemic in Columbus about things that were happening to women and women with children who were becoming addicted. We started to dream about having a safe, sober environment where these women could go and get the help that they needed. That dream really became Amethyst.
Annie, in my mind, is a special person in many ways. She always is able to reinvent herself. I've seen her and heard her talk about this many times. Starting out, she came to Otterbein as an adult returning student, and she was in the process of reinventing herself at the time. I think both Jane and Annie together represent something that is very deep. They can't really help people enough. They can't really give enough.
Well, I'll never forget when Jane called me about becoming a champion of the South Side. I would have never had a clue of what that one conversation would lead to. And I sometimes have to apologize to Tom Krause, her husband, as she apologizes to my husband about the times we spend together. Because now Jane and I, as I fondly say, are connected at the hip. Everywhere we go, we're together at the Reeb Center along with all of our partners. Reeb Avenue Center is quite simply a hub of hope for our South Side residents. It's comprised of 14 nonprofits, and the focus is all on workforce development and education for children and adults.
Jane was at a community center, the Reeb Center, and met a parent there who was at her wit's end. Jane could have walked by, could have left that to someone else to deal with, but she didn't. She heard that mom, she went to her, she comforted her, she connected her to Action for Children. Jane really did transform a person's life by being who she is and by being at that right spot.
My first meeting with Jane was over the phone, and in a New York Minute, after one conversation with Jane Abel, I thought, this is a woman who I want on my board. She is this quintessential convergence between spirit and smarts. She can be both strategic and roll up her sleeves and get that job done.
It would be hard to imagine anyone who would fit the family values better than Tom Krause. He fits in their entire philosophy. He brings a joy that enables people to act their best.
He came in and joined the choir and sat there with one of his sons and, gave all of his heart, all of his soul, all of his mind to every song that he sang. And then as I got to know Tom, it made sense that his leadership skills, the gifts that he could bring to our organization, went past his gifts of singing and music. And then there's Tom and Rick, Tom Grote and Rick Neal. Who doesn't know that beautiful family? What an inspiration they've been to me, to so many others in the community, for the risks that they took and saying, we're determined to make a family and we're determined to make it our way.
When we were creating Equality Ohio, he actually, the night that we had everybody in Columbus, Tom was at a table with 3 other people, came up with the important core of Equality Ohio. And that is, we envision an Ohio where everyone feels at home.
12 years later, we are still here, and we are a strong advocacy organization in a very challenging time. And we simply wouldn't be here without Tom and the Grote family.
Tom Grote is one of the energetic but kind architects for the realization of what it is to be an open community.
When it comes to this philosophy of win-win, Katie and Kyle, who are no longer in Central Ohio, still always have had that philosophy from the time they were small, almost 30 years ago, to today. That's what they believe in.
Their commitment to fairness and equality, social justice, shared prosperity, you can see their family's fingerprints over some of the most important initiatives and neighborhoods throughout our great city.
The Grotes tell us if you want to make a great pizza, you have to use the finest ingredients. I want to celebrate the Grotes themselves for being among our community's finest ingredients.